Hello, friends. My name is Chelly. I am a tattoo artist and yoga teacher. I am specifically trained in vinyasa, and I wanted to create a class, so I am doing that today in dedication to my fellow tattoo artists. So I really hope to spread awareness and educate artists how we can create a yoga practice that helps heal our bodies. I know way too many artists who have literal permanent spine damage in their hips, and it's due to not taking care of their body. And this is the ultimate truth. If you want to tattoo as long as possible, if you want to literally die in that tattoo chair, you're going to need to learn how to take care of your body to the best of its ability. Because the healthier and stronger our body is, the more that we will be capable of tattooing for a longer time. But more importantly, when we have a strong vessel that supports us creating our art, then we're going to create the best possible work that we can. And we definitely do not need to push our bodies constantly through pain. We do not need to constantly just ignore that, our back hurts, our neck hurts, our wrists, our hands, our elbows. So these are areas that I really want to have some focus in today. This will be a nice introductory flow. And again, these will all have a focus on tailoring to your needs as a tattoo artist and creating relief in your body so that you can tattoo with less pain, less chronic pain. And not only that, I also like to view creating a yoga practice is so essential as a tattoo artist for also the mental and spiritual energetic exchange that we have with our clients. If we think about it, we are touching on clients all day long. We got to have that 3 point stretch, right? And we are literally absorbing that exchange of energy with our clients who they might be in pretty severe pain, or they might be experiencing lots of tension in the body. And I'm not sure about you, but I know from my experience, I have a lot of clients that feel safe and comfortable to share pretty vulnerable stories and traumas, especially when I work with a client on those really long days. It invites a lot of deep conversation, but it's not our responsibility to simply absorb all of that and hold all of that in. And this is where having a yoga practice integrated into your daily life is going to help you also physically move that energy out, but also with the mental and spiritual aspect of it to let all of that go. And what better place to do that than right here on the mat? So, all I ask of you is to have a mat, have a water nearby in case you need it. And I do encourage, if it's possible, that you maybe invest in a pair of blocks and a strap. Now, I will do my best to cue poses without using these blocks or props. However, I do highly encourage that these are some items that you invest in, because you can equally use these to use in like a restorative pose, maybe after a really long day, or you can use these, warming up for your day, maybe opening up your shoulders. These are really great tools to keep, just to use as maybe even a more like a physical therapeutical way. Nonetheless, let's get started. And before we begin our practice, I just want to send a gentle reminder that we all begin somewhere with our practice. I really don't believe in yoga for beginners. We simply start somewhere. There's no need to hold judgment towards yourself or comparison. Just simply try and see what happens, because we will never know unless we try. And this is a beautiful lesson that we can always apply in life off the mat. If you need to take a different posture that feels better to you, please do so and honor your body. If you perhaps need to take a seat, a child's pose, shavasana, or maybe you just need to watch and observe for a moment, please do so. Please honor your body. There is no need to ever push yourself past your limits, and this will also help check in with that body awareness and prevent any injury. So let's go ahead and begin in a child's pose. Let's have our toes together, knees mat distance, and we will walk our hands forward, dropping the crown, third eye to the mat. Now, for some of us, this may not be possible. Maybe we need some extra support. So this is where having those blocks is going to help. So maybe that looks like we have some blocks here, and then we walk the hands forward. You can play around with the height. Maybe you're here. And if you feel like you cannot drop the crown, you can always have a block here to support the forehead. Use your props to your discretion, listening to your body always. So here we are in child's pose, taking some time to connect with our breath, taking some time to check in with our thoughts. I invite you to allow everything that's happening off the mat to stay out there. Ask yourself where, answer here, ask when, answer now. Here, now. And then let's walk our hands all the way over to the right, placing left hand on top of right. Then slowly walking through center, all the way over to the left, placing right hand on top of left. Check in with your jaw, relax the jaw. Check in with the tongue, drop the tongue from the roof of the mouth, everything nice and relaxed. And then slowly walk your hands back through center. I invite you to set an intention for the rest of your practice. Maybe it's an affirmation or mantra, such as I am calm, or I am peace, or I am free. Whatever it may be, anytime you find yourself sitting in a posture, maybe it's a bit uncomfortable or maybe it's a bit overwhelming, bring yourself back to that intention and allow the thoughts to pause. Slowly roll up one vertebrae at a time. And let's roll over the knees and meet in a tabletop. Checking in with your alignment, our shoulders in line with our wrists, hips in line with our knees. And we're going to take a few rounds of cat and cow. Inhale, drop the spine, gaze towards sky. Exhale, round, gaze towards navel. Inhale, drop the spine, gaze towards sky. Exhale, round. Really empty out that breath all the way at the bottom. And this will allow you to round that spine as much as you can. Really fill those lungs on that inhale. Exhale, round. Take 2 more at your own pace. And then meet back in a neutral. And when I say neutral, I mean a nice flat spine. We don't want to be here. We don't want our shoulders shrugging here. We still want things nice and engaged, and a slight tuck to that pelvis. Let's go ahead and shift your gaze to the right. And think about creating a crescent moon shape with your hips. And then doing the same thing with your left. Little scrunch on that side body. Just going back and forth. Moving with your breath. And then come back to a neutral. Let's take a few barrel rolls. Think about creating a spiral motion with your spine. And then reverse direction. And then come back to your neutral spine. Let's go ahead and walk the hands forward for puppy. Think about dropping the crown to the mat. And maybe we cannot reach that far. So again, maybe we use our block. Maybe we're just here. And maybe we come up on the fingertips. But depending on where your flexibility is, or where it may eventually progress, you could even come up onto your fingertips and then challenge to come all the way to the mat with your third eye. Or maybe even sliding forward and think about bringing chest down towards the mat. And then come on back up to your tabletop. Maybe take a cat-cow and reset. Getting rooted in that left palm, think about engaging all parts of the fingertips. Think about engaging the base of your fingers and the base of your palm. We want to have a nice active grip anytime we are placing weight into the hands, the wrist. This is going to help alleviate too much stress on the wrist, okay? We're going to inhale, open up that right, gaze towards right fingers. Maybe we do a few wrist circles one direction and then the other. Inhale, reach high. Exhale, drop that right shoulder, right cheek down towards the mat. We walk our left hand forward. Think about keeping your hand in line with your crown. Square those hips. Just close the eyes for a moment. Just check in with the breath here. Just allowing that spine to open. Allowing the shoulders to release. Relax your jaw. I have an old rib injury, and this posture has single-handedly been what keeps that flare-up at bay. Because if any of you have a rib injury, you know ribs never quite heal. And if you'd like to go a little deeper, you can inhale that left arm up, and maybe you take a bind. And release on your exhale. Come on out exactly as you got in. We'll do same thing left side. Inhale, opening up that left. Maybe taking a few wrist circles. And then reverse direction. Inhale, reach. Exhale, drop that left shoulder down towards the mat, threading the needle. We will walk that right hand forward. Once again, think about keeping it in line with your crown. And then try to shift your hips over, squaring them. This side is always much more tense for me than the other. If you're feeling a little shaky and wobbly, embrace it. If you'd like to take it a little deeper, you can open that right hand, right arm, and take a bind. Think about bringing back that shoulder, and then release on your exhale. Let's take a little cat-cow to reset. And then come up on those toes, sit on your heels for a moment if that's comfortable. Let's go ahead and shimmy our palms, rotate them, bring fingers towards the body. We're back in this tabletop. You can untuck the toes. Maybe we rock back and forth gently. We are constantly flexing our joints and our wrists, our ligaments, all of our fingers between stretching with one hand and then gripping on our machine with the other. It's important to take the time to counter those movements and make sure that we're maintaining that flexibility. Now, obviously, this is something I've been working on for a while, so your flexibility may not look like mine, and that's okay. Again, we're listening to our body, and then flip those palms laterally. We rock side to side. And then flip to the tops of your palms. Give your fingers a little wiggle. And once again, you can think about rocking back and forth, keeping in mind our elbows. Think about really flexing those fingers, keeping everything engaged there. You should feel a nice stretch down from the elbow all the way down to the wrist. And then come back to your heels. Maybe we shake it out. You can do a few wrist circles here. All right, let's come all the way to the belly. And I'm going to show you from this perspective, so it might be a bit easier to comprehend. So we're going to bring our arms out to a T. We're going to drop that right cheek to the mat, planting our left arm, our left hand, bringing the left leg up and over. We open up that right shoulder. Now, again, you may not have your leg all the way this far back. For some of us, maybe we're just here. And if you feel like your flexibility is just not there at all, maybe this is where we're at and this is where we feel restricted. This is, again, where we can use our blocks. I know some students in my class struggle with getting their head down to the mat. So this is where you could have a block to support you. You could also have a block for your foot, if I can get it there. Okay, so you have some options to, again, just listen to the body. Now for me, again, this is simply where I need to go in order to feel the benefit of the posture. And check in with your fingers as well. Are they all scrunched here? Try to open the fingers, open the palm, and then just relax. No need to engage too much here. Slowly come through center. I'll show you from this perspective now. With the left, we're bringing our arms once again out to a T. Our left cheek is now on the mat. And then we're going to bring that right leg up and over, down towards the ground. Using your right hand to gently press you. Again, you may be here, you may need some support here, or even under your foot. Just play around with whatever feels good. I know for myself personally, I always feel a release in my spine. I always feel a release in my elbows, my wrists from this posture. I'm currently getting over a tendonitis flare-up, and this posture has single-handedly been what has helped heal it the most. And slowly release. You can also play around with even like rotating your shoulder a bit. This helps to massage these little muscles here for me. And you can kind of play around, maybe even still being here. You can extend a little bit, help opening up that line of muscle striation that comes from literally all the way down to your thumb, to your forearm. I'll often feel it all the way through my bicep and even into my armpit. All right, let's go ahead and we're going to take this same motion. However, this time we're going to think about goal posting our arms into a 90-degree angle. I will show you from this perspective. I have my right arm at a nice 90 degrees. My palm is nice and open. I'm dropping my right cheek to the mat. I'll use my left hand to gently press up and over and bringing that left leg up and over. Once again, you could have a block to support your leg if needed. Depending on where your flexibility is at, you may feel a bit more restricted movement here, and that's totally normal because we're getting much deeper into that pectoral muscle. You may feel some release in that wrist joint. Two more breaths. And then slowly release, coming through center. I'll show you from this perspective. Bringing our left arm to that 90 degree, left cheek to the mat, using that right hand to gently press you up and over. I literally just felt an adjustment in my wrist. Maybe one side feels a bit different than the other, and that's okay. It's quite normal, actually. We're never completely balanced on either side, especially as tattoo artists. We have two arms that are going in completely different directions if you think about it while we're tattooing. We have one arm and shoulder that's essentially pulling away from the body, and then the other is essentially pulling towards the body, depending on the movement that you're doing with your machine. And then you can slowly release. We're going to do one more posture to help open up our elbow joints. You can stay on your belly, and I'm just going to show you really quick so you have an understanding of how the alignment of our palms and hands should be. Think about bringing our pinkies side by side, everything nice and open, gently engaging those fingertips, but they're going to be under the body. So make sure your mat is nice and clean. You're essentially going to be kissing the mat, shimmying those elbows underneath you. Shift your weight forward. We have those pinkies kissing. You can play around lifting your right leg and then lift your left. And then we'll lift both. You will be engaging that low back, glutes, hamstrings. And if you want to lift higher, you'll engage a little more. And then release. And bring right cheek to the mat. Reset for a moment. Slowly we'll bring our palms, hands under the shoulders. We'll press up, back into a tabletop. And let's do a few hip openers here. Think about bringing our right leg out, having some nice big hip circles here. Always checking in with the alignment of our spine. You can reverse your hip circles. Your foot could also be flexed or pointed. And then when you're ready, go ahead and extend that right leg, flex the foot. Think about keeping that hip facing down towards the mat, gently engaging that core, and then extending that left arm forward. Think about a string pulling you in two different directions, really reaching through those fingertips. And then release. We'll do the same thing, left side. Some nice hip circles. Away from the body. And then reverse, going towards the body. This definitely warms up the core, which is important that we have a nice strong core to support us through those long days of tattooing. And then go ahead and extend that left leg straight. Once again, checking in with our spine. We're not here with the shoulders. Everything engaged, right? Get rooted in that left palm and then extend that right arm forward. And then release. Go ahead and walk those hands forward, untuck your toes. We'll do some nice big body rolls. You should feel a nice stretch on the IT band. Nice stretch through the side of the glutes. Nice, slow, and controlled. And then reverse direction. Channel that Ujjayi breath. And then release. Go ahead and get planted in those palms. Step into a plank. Check in with your plank. Make sure that your shoulders are directly over your wrists. Tuck in the belly. Legs are engaged. Take an inhale. Exhale, send the hips back downward facing dog. You can pedal it out, bending and straightening one leg and then the other. Once again, making sure we are engaging all parts of the hand. If I were right next to you right now, I shouldn't be able to lift a single finger off the mat. That's how important it is to keep all parts of the hand engaged anytime we're extending weight there. Inhale, shift your gaze forward. Exhale, bend your knees. Step the right foot forward and then the left. Keeping our toes together, heels slightly apart. We'll inhale for halfway lift. And maybe halfway is actually here on the shins or here at the quads. It's more important to me that your spine is nice and flat. You can also use your blocks as support. So maybe your halfway lift is here. You can play around with the height. Do whatever feels good. And to help open up the back of the hamstrings, think about safely engaging those quadriceps. So inhale, fill the lungs. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, roll up one vertebrae at a time. We'll inhale, sweep the palms up. Gaze towards sky. Exhale, swan dive, releasing the arms. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Plant your palms, step the right foot back. And then the left. We meet here in your plank. And then come all the way down to your belly. Bring our legs together, legs kissing. Bring our shoulders away from the ears, elbows in towards the body. We'll inhale for baby cobra. Gaze towards sky. Exhale, round and release. We'll take that once more. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, release. And then send the hips back, downward facing dog. Stay here for a few breaths. Keep your gaze towards your knees or your thighs. This will help send those hips back. Think about creating a little bit of an arch in that low spine. Inhale, shift your gaze forward. Exhale, bend your knees. Step the left foot forward and then the right. Inhale for halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep the palms up. Palms join at the top. Gaze towards sky. Exhale, prayer hands through center and release towards the side for mountain pose, Tadasana. Here in Tadasana, we still want to be nice and active and engaged, right? Our shoulders are back. Our tailbone is tucked. Core slightly engaged. Our quads are engaged. Our glutes are engaged. This is an active posture. We're not just hanging out. Everything engaged. Close the eyes. Connect with the breath. Let's run through that Sun A once more. Inhale, sweep the palms up. Exhale, release the arms, dive down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your palms, step the left foot back, and then the right. Pause here at the top. You can either come back all the way down to your belly and then take your baby cobra again, or take an inhale, fill the lungs. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, slide the chest forward, upward facing dog. Remember, we're not here with the shoulders, everything away, rolling back. Exhale, send the hips back, downward facing dog. Go ahead and walk those hands all the way back towards your feet. Shimmy our feet slightly wider than shoulder distance. Go ahead and grab opposite elbows. You can have a slight bend in the knees. And then sway side to side. Releasing the back of those hamstrings. Releasing the back of that low lumbar. Maybe we shake the head no. And nod the head yes. And when you're ready, go ahead, walk those hands all the way forward. We meet back here in downward facing dog. Inhale, shift your gaze forward. Exhale, bend your knees. Step or hop to the front of your mat. Inhale for halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. This time we're going to inhale to chair pose. Swipe those fingers across the mat. Think about bringing our legs together. Toes together, heels slightly apart. Inhale, extend those arms forward. Not here with the shoulders, shoulders away from the ears. A slight tuck of the tailbone, not too much, but we're not here either. And then release, forward fold. Inhale for halfway lift. Exhale, plant your palms, step the feet back, and take a vinyasa. Whatever feels good to you. Yeah, again, we can be here, or if you'd prefer to come here, whatever vinyasa feels good to you. We meet here back in downward facing dog. We're going to inhale, extend the right leg up. Three-legged dog. Keep your gaze towards your thigh. And then rotate, shifting the gaze over to the right. Bend the right knee. Think about bringing ankle to hip. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, step that right foot all the way through between the palms. Drop down that left knee on top of the left toes. For many of us as tattoo artists, we definitely are sitting in a stagnant position for hours at a time. Same thing goes for when we're drawing. We're typically sitting while we're drawing. So our hips can store so much energy. So we're going to take a few postures to help open that up. Once again, let's check in with that alignment, keeping our ankles in line with our knee. Inhale, bring the left arm up, and then we'll exhale, left elbow outside of our right knee. Bring our hands to prayer, shifting our gaze over the right shoulder. Take an inhale, exhale, twist a little more. Inhale the arms back to center. Maybe a little back bend. Exhale, release. Go ahead and shimmy that right foot over to the right side. Turn those right toes out. Let the knee fall open to the right. You're going to come onto that outer edge of that foot. And if this is enough for you, you're already feeling it here, maybe you're already feeling it open here, then stay here. You also can use your block if you need to bring the height up to you. And again, you can play around with whatever feels good. Otherwise, if you'd like to take it a little deeper, come on down to those forearms. Now you can stay here, or if maybe that's too much, but you still want to go maybe a little deeper, then come on down to a block. And again, we can play around with the height, because what's most important, as always, in every single posture is a nice, long, extended spine. And this includes our alignment with our chin. If we're keeping everything nice and extended, you're more likely to have a nice straight spine. The moment that we look down is the moment that our spine begins to round and we lose receiving the full benefit of the posture. Stay here for a few more breaths. Slowly come back up onto those palms. If you're on your forearms, engage the left leg, step the right foot back, and take a vinyasa. We meet back in downward facing dog. We inhale the left leg up. Exhale, open that left hip. Think about bringing our ankle towards glute, bending that left knee. Inhale, straighten back to 3. Exhale, step that left foot all the way through. Left foot between our palms. Releasing our right knee, coming into a low lunge. And just take a few moments to connect with any of that feeling, sensations that you might be experiencing now that we're over into the right hip flexor. Perhaps it feels different than the left, and again, that's okay. We are never completely balanced on both sides. Inhale. Inhale the right arm up. Exhale, bending right elbow outside of that left knee. Bring our hands to prayer. Gaze over the left shoulder. Take an inhale. Exhale, twist a little deeper. Inhale, sweep the palms up, come back to center, maybe even a little back bend. And then release, bringing those palms down towards the mat. Shimmy that left foot over, turning the toes out, coming onto the outer edge of that left foot, letting the knee gently fall open to the side. And again, just assess where you're at. You can either stay here, or if you'd like to come down a little more, come on down to those forearms. Again, using your blocks and bolsters at your discretion, listening to your body. And you'll notice the longer that you hold postures, the more opportunity that we have for gravity to gently pull down that knee and help release tension here in the glutes and hips. We store so many emotions within our hips. And so some of these postures may feel a bit uncomfortable. You may feel certain emotions come up that you didn't realize were there, and that's okay. This is a practice that invites you to sit with discomfort. Because once we acknowledge that discomfort and once we learn how to find comfort amidst the discomfort is where the growth happens. Go ahead and slowly come back up onto those palms. Engage the right knee, stepping the left foot back, and take a vinyasa. Inhale at the top of that plank. Exhale for the chaturanga. Inhale, peel that chest forward, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, shift your gaze forward. Exhale, bend your knees, step or hop to the front of your mat. Inhale for halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, bring our hands to prayer. Inhale, fill the lungs. Exhale, bring left elbow outside, right knee for a twist. Think about trying to keep those knees in one line. Gaze up over the right shoulder. You can either stay here or open the arms for a deep twist. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, hands to prayer. Bringing right elbow outside left knee for another twist. You can go a little deeper, opening those arms. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, release, forward fold. Maybe shake out the legs. Inhale for halfway lift. Exhale, plant your palms, step or hop to the back of your mat, and take a vinyasa. Just take a few grounding breaths in here, downward facing dog. See how much more you can lengthen that spine, sending that tailbone back. Inhale, shift your gaze forward, and come into a child's pose. Just taking note of how different we may have felt at the beginning of practice in the first child's pose, and how we do right here, right now. Slowly roll up one vertebrae at a time. So we've touched on helping to open up the wrists, helping to open up those shoulders. We've gotten a few hip openers. And I want to take a moment to use our strap. So find your strap. I'm going to show you a few different poses or movements, I should say, that we can do. So if you see how I just looped that, think about like doing it as a belt. And this will allow you to play around with a larger loop and the distance here, okay? So if you want to open up the backs of your heels, you can come here and sit on the knees and the backs of the heels there. Slightly tucking in that core. We'll bring our strap up and then around. Keeping the palms open and then doing that same motion on the way back. If it's feeling too easy, make the loop a little smaller. But this is just enough to open up those shoulder joints, get some nice movement and blood flow there. And if this is feeling like too much, you could also just come take a stand and do that same motion here. I'll show you what it looks like from this perspective. Just move at your own pace. Take a few rounds of that, opening up those shoulders. And once you feel you've gotten to a good place there, come meet me back onto the mat if you are not already there. We're going to do a back bend opener, heart opener. You know, we spend so much time tattooing and we're typically in this weird hunched shrimp-like position. So working and prioritizing your back flexibility is going to be crucial in maintaining that spine health. So again, we're here on the knees. We're untucking the toes. We're going to gently tuck in that tailbone, engage those quadriceps, gently engaging the glutes, but not too much, because we don't want to put stress here on the low spine, right? So go ahead and support yourself and then begin to drop the crown back. And this may feel good enough to just stay here, okay? However, if you would like to go a little deeper, you can begin to bring your arms down and think about grabbing onto the backs of those heels, and then think of a string pulling your chest up and coming into a camel pose. Stay here for 3 breaths. And then bringing your hands back to that low spine to support you on the way up. And release. Meet me in a tabletop for a moment. And take a cat-cow to release that spine. And let's take camel posture once more. Again, going at your own pace, listening to your body. You could also use your blocks if you're feeling like maybe you want to try, but you're not all the way there towards your ankles. I think it's easier to kind of turn them away this way and then think about pushing that heart forward towards the sky. Now, again, for me, I've been practicing for a while, so for me to receive the benefits of the posture, I need to come here. and then release. And once again, you can take a tabletop and around a cat-cow. To release. All right, let's go ahead and turn our left toes out, bringing our right foot out. We'll get rooted in that left palm. Think about shoulder in line with our wrist. And then come on up for a supported side plank. And then maybe we begin to drop that right arm back, opening up our back, our chest, hips, and then release. Coming back to your tabletop. We'll do the same thing with the right side, turning the right toes out, bringing our left foot out, getting rooted in that right palm, wrist in line with circle. Inhale up for a supported side plank. Or maybe we begin to drop that right arm back, opening the spine, opening the heart, the hips. And then release. Let's go back into our down dog. Maybe we pedal it out for a moment, bending and straightening one leg and then the other. Find your stillness. Inhale, shift your gaze forward. Exhale, bend your knees. Let's hop straight to Malasana. So our alignment is going to look like our heels about slightly wider than hip distance, maybe more like mat distance. And the more that you turn your toes out, the more that you're going to open up the hips. Now, ideally, this is where we want to be, but I recognize not everyone's flexibility is there. So this is where using a block is once again going to help support if you need some support here. You can play around with the height until eventually you will be able to meet here. Think about using those elbows to help push open the knees. Our chest is nice and tall. You can rock side to side. And then when you're ready, close the eyes, turn the attention inward, and find your stillness. Relax the jaw. Take 5 Ujjayi breaths here. After you've taken your breaths, you can go ahead and plant those palms, step the feet back, and take a vinyasa. Let's go ahead and extend that right leg up. Step it all the way through. We meet back in a low lunge, dropping that left knee. And this is where it might be handy to have your blocks nearby. We'll go ahead and extend that right leg straight, flexing those right toes. Really think about bringing the foot towards the body. And you see right here, I'm a little bit twisted, right? So think about keeping everything nice and square. Think about that string pulling on your chest forward. Now you can either stay here, or if you want to begin moving with your breath, bending the knee, and then straightening on the exhale. Inhale and exhale. Just moving at your own pace. And when you're ready, find your stillness. Again, you can play with the blocks, with the height, whatever feels good. Maybe you don't even need them, but make sure that you're using your props and you're never sacrificing that spinal alignment. You can exhale, round over. Inhale, bend the right knee. Move your blocks to the side. Plant your palms. Step the right foot back and take a vinyasa. Inhale, extend the left leg up. Exhale, step it all the way through. We meet back in a low lunge. Again, using your props as needed. We'll take an inhale. Exhale, extend that left leg straight. Think about really flexing that left foot, those left toes. Square those hips. Keep the chin lifted, everything nice and elongated. Think about that string pulling your chest forward. You should feel a nice release in that hamstring. If you gently engage the quadricep, this will also help open that hamstring. Again, you can have the choice to move with your breath. Maybe inhale on the bend, exhale on the extension. Just moving at your own pace. And when you're ready, go ahead and meet me back with the leg extended for that half splits. We'll take 3 Ujjayi breaths. And then release with a round. Inhale, bend that left knee, plant the palms, step the left foot back, and take a vinyasa. You can pedal it out once more. Inhale, shift your gaze forward. Exhale, bend your knees and come to a seat. We're going to take a few more postures that help really release tension in this low lumbar. So when we do this posture, we should be really feeling it in these 2 areas here. So go ahead and extend that right leg straight. Think about bringing our left foot, kissing the inside of our right thigh. You almost want your heel pretty much in line with the groin. And then you want to think about shifting your torso to be square with your right leg. Now, if your knee on the left side is not all the way down to the ground, you may need a little bit of support here with the block. Totally okay. But we want to make sure that we're not flexing or engaging anything over here. And if you don't have blocks handy, you can always use a pillow or a bolster. From here, we're going to inhale, lengthen the spine, arms up, gaze up. Exhale, hinge at the waist. Once again, you're going to feel your torso want to move out. Really try to resist that and keep everything square to the leg. You should immediately be feeling a release here in that right low spine, maybe even the mid spine. And maybe we cannot reach the foot. So this is where having your strap handy will help. You can loop right under the balls of your toes there. And then you can use your strap to help bring you forward. And eventually you can keep working up the straps until eventually you are here. Or maybe even eventually you need extra support, extra length, where you could use a block here. Take an inhale. On your exhale, slowly release 1 vertebrae at a time. And then we'll do same thing, left side. I'm going to do it from this perspective so you can see what it's like from behind. Again, we're thinking about our left leg extended. We're keeping that right foot kissing the inside of our left thigh, heel almost to the groin. We want to square our torso with that left leg. You can have your strap and block handy. Inhale, extend those arms up. Exhale, hinge at the waist, keeping that left foot flexed. And again, we're all at different flexibility. So maybe it's just here, or maybe we're using that strap and we're here. Okay? We're all going to be at a different pace. But where you should be feeling that relief is in this low right lumbar. And again, you may even eventually at some point need extra elongation, and that's where using a block here helps. And you want to think about keeping this extended leg nice and straight. So if that means you need to gently engage your quadricep to help, and this will also help open the back of that hamstring, then please do so. And you can also allow it to be a bit more restorative, and you don't have to necessarily engage anything in the leg. And you can feel the difference for sure. I also encourage, especially after very long days of tattooing, to especially practice this posture. This really, really helps relieve so much of that tension here. And, if you want it to be something more restorative, you can also just play around with having a block here. You can play around with the height. You got options, okay? We'll inhale, roll up one vertebrae at a time. And go ahead, cross those legs. Gently roll over the knees. Get rooted in the palms, plant the palms. Step the feet back for downward facing dog. Inhale, extend the right leg up. Exhale, step that right foot all the way. Think about bringing right knee behind right wrist. Maybe left ankle behind left wrist. But what's more important is that we're keeping our knee and hip in one straight line. So I'll show you from this perspective. We also want to make sure that our right foot is flexed to protect our knee. So if we shift over, you can use the right edge of your mat as a guide. We want to think about being parallel here. So if that means we need to bring in our foot a little closer to the body so that way we can maintain this alignment, then please do so. This is more important than having a parallel shin to the front edge of the mat. From here, we want to think about rotating that left hip down towards the mat. And maybe we're here and this is where we're at. You may need to have a block supporting under your sit there if your hip is not coming all the way down towards the mat. Again, we're all at different flexibility, so use your props to your discretion. If you want to go a little deeper, you can come on down towards your forearms. And you're going to feel that this hip wants to just open up. You have to learn how to resist that and keep everything down towards the mat. Keep it square. You can extend the left arm out and then the right, dropping the crown. We'll stay here for a few breaths. This is definitely one of those postures that I also deeply encourage to practice, especially after a long day of tattooing. If you deal with sciatica, this is the posture for you. Just allow your breath and gravity to help release and let go. Let's take 3 more Ujjayi breaths. Slowly bring those palms back towards the body. I encourage you to pause at the top, shift your gaze back, and then plant your palms. Get rooted in the palms. Come back to your down dog. Extend the left leg up on your next inhalation. And on your next exhale, bend that left knee. Come all the way through to your pigeon. Left side. Thinking knee behind right wrist. We're thinking about bringing that left ankle up, but again, I would rather you not be here if that means that your hips are not in alignment. So we'll show this again from this perspective. Using the left edge of your mat as reference, knee in line with hip, one straight line. From here, rotate the right hip down towards the mat. You can either stay here, you can come on down to your forearms. Again, you can use your blocks as necessary. When you really want to resist that, it almost feels like a coil where your hip wants to just open up. You really want to resist that. Keep everything rotated down towards the mat. And from here, come on down to the forearms. Maybe we start with extending the right arm and then the left. Maybe we drop the crown. Check in with the jaw, relax the tongue. Bring yourself back to that intention you set at the beginning of practice. Let this be a moment to remind you how deserving and worthy you are, how much your body is deserving of this daily practice of self-love, to just let so much go, releasing all that no longer serves you. Taking a moment to honor yourself with gratitude. Thank you for showing up for yourself right here and right now. Sitting with whatever feelings and emotions come up, especially during this posture, and giving yourself permission to sit with it, find comfort amidst discomfort. Take 3 more Ujjayi breaths. Slowly come on up, bringing those palms towards the body. Pause at the top, drop that crown back, and then release. Go ahead and swing that right leg around. Maybe we give ourselves a little self-love hug. And then we can come all the way down to the back. We'll take a few more spine openers. You can either take bridge, which looks like planting your palms, getting rooted in those triceps, keeping our heels towards the glutes. We take an inhale. On the exhale, send the hips up. Think about a slight chin lock, chin kissing the chest. And then release. If you want to take it a little deeper, you can interlock those fingers, the palms. Try to keep those palms kissing all the way through the base. You can bring them underneath the body. Take an inhale. On your exhale, sending those hips up. Chin lock, engaged. then slowly release. We can take that one more time. If you want to try doing that again, you can switch your grip, reverse your grip. Same thing, interlocking those fingers, keeping those palms kissing. And whenever you're ready, send those hips up. And then slowly release. Go ahead and untuck that tailbone. Bring those knees in towards the body. Give yourself another self-love hug. Really squeeze. Think about bringing forehead to the knees. Squeeze, 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 and then release. Let's take at least one inversion. You can have your block handy. We'll let this be a bit more restorative today. So bring it under the sacrum. And then bring those legs straight up. Just stay here for a moment. Let all the blood flow come back towards the heart, towards the crown. Maybe close the eyes. Maybe you place the right hand on the belly and the left hand on the heart. Taking a moment to ground. Thanking yourself once again for showing up for this practice, allowing yourself to have a moment of self-love, honoring the power of stillness. And then slowly drop those legs. Gently remove the block. And then go ahead and meet me in your final posture of Shavasana. We're going to let those legs extend wide, letting the arms be wide. You can have the palms face up to receive all the beautiful work that you just did in your practice today. You can also keep the palms face down if you want something more grounding. Or you could even, again, place right hand over the belly, left hand over the heart. Whatever feels good to you. Have a slight tuck in the chin, releasing tension in that neck. Check in with the jaw, relax the tongue. This is single-handedly probably one of the most important postures in our practice, allowing ourselves to fully receive the beautiful work that we've done. Our rest and recovery is just as important as the work. Let's take 5 closing breaths. We'll inhale, fill the lungs. Pause at the top. Exhale, side out. Empty all the way out the bottom. Inhale, fill the lungs. Hold. Exhale, side out. Take 3 more at your own pace. Allow the breath to return to normal. Gently wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes. Maybe on your next inhalation, extending the arms up for a nice full body stretch. And then gently roll over to your right side, to your fetal. Maybe using your right arm as a pillow. And then gently pressing yourself up into a seat. We'll meet back in a seated position. I hope this was a nice introductory flow to how you can take care of yourself better as a tattoo artist. I hope that this can be an invitation for you to begin developing a practice to help heal your body as a tattoo artist. I'd love to give a gentle reminder that you do not need to tattoo in chronic pain. It doesn't matter where you're at in your tattoo journey, whether you've been tattooing for a few months or 20 years. There is never a wrong time to begin integrating a yoga practice into your self-love daily practice. Let's go ahead and close the eyes. Inhale, sweep the palms up. Bring our palms, prayer hands over third eye. Gentle reminder to think kind and loving thoughts towards yourself and others. Prayer hands over our lips. Gentle reminder to speak kind and loving words towards yourself and others. And taking a bow to Mother Earth. Thank you, Mother Earth, for grounding and supporting us each and every day. Namaste, everyone. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day or evening, whatever time it might be that you are taking this class. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for allowing me to guide you through your practice. I'd love any feedback, so please make sure that you leave that feedback in the comments below.